Baraka Yasharallah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, all praises, glory to Yahweh, Hallelujah, praise Yahweh. And saying that, understand what you worshiping, understand what this political game is about. Because what taking place in these media outlets, whether they're domestic or foreign, is all politically related. And saying that, learning to understand what this game is about. Because see, at the end of the day, through a lack of understanding, many righteous, many believers die outside of their faith. It doesn't matter how many times that they read the Bible, or they sung in a choir, or they joined the usher board. At the end of the day, many believers die outside of their faith, despite of their confessions and belief. Do you understand me? Because see, there are things that y'all like understanding in, and one of the things that y'all like understanding in is what we know as freedom. Do you understand me? Because see, through religious teaching, y'all have this ideology that you can live a lifestyle how you want to live. It doesn't matter. You can live a lifestyle according to you that goes against your belief system. It doesn't matter, as long as you believe. Meaning that y'all believe in titles, yet at the end of the day, y'all are in the commandments of man and not in the commandments of God. Do you understand me? Or the commandments of Yahweh God? Because see, understand, the church is not designed to teach you the commandments. To know the commandments is to know Yahweh God. To know Yahweh God is to know the commandments. You understand me? And a lot of you all don't understand what this political game is about, because it's all politically related. And what y'all have to understand is freedom. Do you understand me? See, y'all don't understand what freedom means. Okay, it doesn't mean that you can live and do the things that you want to do despite of your faith or your belief system. You understand me? And as a result of that, a lot of you all become enemies to Yahweh God, not understanding that you all are idol worshiping. Do you understand me? And saying that, let me get the book of James 4:4 right quick. James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterous and adulterous. Now when he says adulterous and adulterous, basically what he's talking about is idolization, idol worshiping. Because see, understand, worshiping is an act of obedience. An act of obedience is an act of worshiping. Do you understand me? James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterous and adulterous, know you not that friendship of the world is an enmity with Yahweh? And the friendship of the world is an enmity. And that enmity is what we know as a barrier. You understand me? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of Yahweh. Meaning that you are friends with the world, you are enemy to Yahweh. Meaning that you embrace the the ideology and the philosophical views of man. You become an enemy to Yahweh God. Due to the fact of that, when man's eyes became open, he became God. You understand me? So man know what's good and what is evil. You understand me? Let's read that again. James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterous and adulterous, know ye not that friendship of the world is the enmity with Yahweh? And the enmity is the barrier, and that barrier is the philosophy, is the physical nature of man. Do you understand me? So that philosophy is a barrier. You understand? Let's read that again. Ye adulterous and adulterous, know you not that friendship is the world as an enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore be a friend of the world is an enemy to Yahweh. Meaning that y'all are enemies to Yahweh, despite of your faith, despite of your baptism, your confessions, or your belief system. You understand me? Because y'all lack understanding of what you worship. Because the church is not designed to teach you or go into detail as to what you worship, and yet it's designed to keep you in religious idolization or religious enslavement. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me get Mark 7:7 right quick, and then we're going to get into the lesson. Mark chapter 7 verse 7. Howbeit, in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of man. Verse 13. Let's go down to verse 13. Making the word of Yahweh non-effect through your tradition, which ye have delivered. Meaning that vain is emptiness, and y'all worship Yahweh in emptiness, despite of your religious teachings. Do you understand me? Your religious teachers, as a lack of understanding, y'all are enemies to Yahweh God. Do you understand me? So what happened is that y'all reject the commandments, or push the commandments to the side, and y'all embrace the commandments of man and this religious ideology and philosophy. You understand me? Let's read Mark again. Mark chapter 7, verse 7. However, Beth, in vain do they worship me. See, now worship is an act of obedience. Obedience is an act of worship. You understand me? See, so basically y'all obey the commandments of man, although you believe in God, although you believe in the Lord. But y'all don't understand that y'all believe in titles, because those titles can be applied to anything. Do you understand me? That's why they are pagan titles. You understand me? See, so when you go back to James 4 and 4, ye adulterers and adulterers, meaning that y'all obey the creation. Y'all obey creation, y'all obey man and this governing system. You understand me? So therefore y'all become enemies to Yahweh God, because the world is against Yahweh and Yahweh is against this world. You understand me? It is what it is. And what happened is that it doesn't matter how many times you go to church, you don't take communion, or you confess on a daily basis. At the end of the day, y'all die in separation, y'all die in idolization and not understanding. Although you think that y'all have life because you have biblical knowledge. You understand me? But a lot of you all have biblical knowledge, but y'all don't have no life, because there is no life into the religious teachings, because those religious teachings are of man and it's not of Yahweh God. You understand me? So y'all have to understand the difference. Do you understand me? And saying that, let me go into Galatians. Let me get Galatians 5 and 1. Because see, y'all have to understand, you cannot, even though you believe in God, so you say, and y'all confess, yet y'all cannot live a lifestyle outside of that belief system. You understand me? And a lot of you all live that lifestyle again. Y'all live a lifestyle that go against y'all belief system, because y'all like understanding of politics, y'all like understanding of religion. Because see, understand, politics and religion is what this game is based on. Politics and religion is what this Bible is about. Do you understand me? Y'all better understand this political game, because this political game is spiritually being played out through the prophets, through the writings of Moses, because these politicians are acting out Yahweh God's agenda. Shalaki, these politicians are acting out their agenda, and their agenda lines in with the Hebrew scriptures, lines in with the writings of Moses. These agendas of these politicians, these devils, their agenda lines in with the prophets talk about. Because see, y'all have to understand this Bible. You understand me? Because it's a political book, and saying that, y'all don't understand some things, and some things that y'all really do need to understand. So let's go to let me get Galatians. And let me start with Galatians. Let me have 5 and 1, and then I'm gonna go into Isaiah, and I'm gonna get Isaiah 10 and 27. Oh, that's Jeremiah. Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Now, what he's talking about, liberty, and Christ is talking about freedom. Now, understand that Christ, Yahweh Shai, represents the commandments. See, understand the commandments is a divine governing system, because them commandments come directly from Yahweh God, and those commandments governs the body of people. You understand me? And Yahweh Shai symbolizes those commandments, because Yahweh Shai came directly from Yahweh God himself, because he's part of that Elohim. He's not God. He's not the ultimate creator. He's the son of the living God. Do you understand me? Let's read that again. Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again. Listen, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. And basically, what he's talking about is that yoke of bondage, and be not entangled is the governing system of man and his ideology and the philosophical views. They hold you captive. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so you have to understand that Yahweh Shai symbolizes the commandments. Now, the commandments, financial institution, is what we call capitalism. Now, that divine governing system that Yahweh Shai represents, or he came and established politically, it is called theocracy. You understand me? Theocracy is a divine intervention, a clergy group of men who rule through that intervention. And the Catholic Church, to this day, they control all Abrahamic religions, from Christianity and the different branches, Islam and Judaism. You understand me? Because those are Abrahamic religion. You understand me? So understand that there's freedom into Christ. Christ symbolizes the commandments. You understand me? I'm gonna get Galatians 5, but I'm gonna go back a couple chapters to Galatians 3 and 19, and then we're gonna get down to 24. Galatians chapter 3, verse 19. Wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because the transgression till the seed should come to whom the promise was made. And let's go down to verse 24. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. And that law is the physical commandments, that we might be justified by faith. But after that faith have come, we are no longer under the schoolmaster. You understand me? Meaning that Yahweh Shai led us to the commandment, led us to Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the commandments. Yahweh Shai came directly down from Yahweh God. Do you understand me? Let me go into the book of John. Let me get John 1. And let me start at John chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 2, and then I'm gonna go down to verse 14. But now I'm gonna start at 1. John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Now, when it says that Word was God, that's not talking about a singular, meaning that it's stating plural. You understand me? Because when you go back into the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. You understand me? Let's go back. Let's read that again. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. The same was in the beginning with Yahweh, God. Now listen, verse 2. The same was in the beginning with Yahweh God, meaning that word was in the beginning with Yahweh God, meaning that Yahweh God spoke Christ into existence. Do you understand me? Christ, Yahweh Shai, is God, Yahweh God firstborn. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Now let's go down to verse 14. And the Word was made flesh. Listen. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt amongst us. And the Word became flesh. Do you understand me? Meaning that prophecies have been fulfilled. Prophecies have came to pass in Yahweh Shai. Do you understand me? Let's go up. We in John 1. Let's go up to verse 13. John chapter 1, verse 13. Which were born not of blood, nor the will of the flesh, nor the will of man, but of Yahweh. And we're talking about the will of man, or the will of flesh is talking about the physical nature. Because see, a lot of Israelites and a lot of people believe that Joseph and Mary had physical sex, or the goddess Aphrodite came down and Joseph and Mary had sex. Physical sex, sexual contact. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. But of Yahweh God, it didn't come through the will of man, meaning that the god of Aphrodite never did come down. And the physical nature of man, when a man see a woman naked, his dick automatically gets hard, or they go automatically be thinking about in a sexual nature. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Do you understand me? See, so that word became flesh. You understand me? See, so Yahweh Shai represents the commandments. Now, the financial institution to those commandments is what you call capitalism. Because Yahweh Shai is, Shalaki, Yahweh God is the capitalist himself. You understand me? I'm in Isaiah, right? So let me go ahead and I had 10, Isaiah 10, but let me go back to back a chapter. Let me get chapter 9. And I'm gonna start at 6. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government, listen, and the government shall be on his shoulders. And that government is what you call theocracy politically. Politically, it's called the divine governing system. Do you understand me? Because the commandments governs the body of people, and it come directly from Yahweh God himself. You understand me? So Yahweh Shai came directly down because he part of that Elohim. So he us the commandments. Do you understand me? Now the financial institution to the commandments is what we know as capitalism. You understand me? Capitalism is operation and mean for production, meaning owning your own stores. It's called capitalism because there's freedom into capitalism due to the fact of that extra income that comes in. Say like another example, say like you took your money, you spent $130 and you went and bought some jugs of oil and you went and bought glass jars and you cut the oil and then you made bottles of oil and you went out and sold them, right? Now you invested $130 and you turned around and made 260. You understand me? Or 270. You understand? See, so as a result, you doubled that money. That's tax-free money. That's not from the government. See, so that is called capitalism. I don't want to I'm not trying to encourage anybody, but selling drugs and flipping drugs, that's called capitalism. Selling oils, clothes, that's called capitalism. Do you understand me? And Yahweh God is the capitalist himself. You understand me? And it's political terminology that we use for this divine system is called theocracy. Now understand, the Republican Party is the philosophical sanctuary to this governing system or this divine system or theocracy. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's go back to Galatians 5. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1. Stand fast therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. And be not entangled with the yoke of bondages to the religious, the political ideology and philosophy, the governing system of man. You can't be entangled to that. You understand me? And a lot of you all entangled to the governing system of man. You understand me? To where y'all become enemies to Yahweh God. You die outside of your faith because you reject Yahweh God and his commandments and embrace the commandments of man. That's why I go back, I read what? At Mark 7 again, where he say, in vain do y'all worship him, teaching the doctrines, the commandments of man. You understand me? Because y'all don't understand. Even though y'all into the church, even though y'all into the religious organization, yet you have to understand the religious organization or the religious teachings is of man and it's not of Yahweh God. A lot of these doctrines come out of the church. Do you understand me? Especially Christianity. You understand me? And a lot of doctrines, but there are some things that y'all like understanding it. But now understand that the commandments is the divine governing system, and the financial institution to this capitalist system is what we call, divine governing system is called capitalism. Now let's line that up with today. Politically, America is a religious capitalist country. See, understand, socialism, communism, and bureaucracy, they are all economic enslavement. South America, the continent of Africa, North Korea, Russia, China, India, they are all communist and socialist countries. Cuba is a communist country because Castro turned communism when America put them into power. Do you understand me? It is what it is. See, what happened is that a lot of you all lack understanding of politics. Y'all lack understanding of what the game. So what happened is that y'all vote these people in, like Venezuela, Chile, and Colombia, right? These are socialist, economic enslavement countries, right? But they lack understanding of what they were voting for, and they voted these people in. And when they implemented socialism and communism, which is the economic enslavement of man, what happened was that now they flee their country to come to America, because America is a what? Capitalist country. America is the only country that's capitalist, and capitalism is freedom in the capitalism. A lot of you all vote against capitalism by embracing these socialists and these independence and socialist and democratic agendas. So what happened is that y'all embrace the views of man, and y'all reject the commandments of Yahweh God. Do you understand me? So what happened is that y'all become entangled despite of your belief system. Y'all become entangled through democracy. Y'all be entangled that holds y'all captive. This LBGT movement, abortion, and whatnot. These agendas, the climate Green New Deal. All of y'all have captives, and y'all entangled to the governing system of man, its religious and political ideology and philosophy. You understand me? See, so when you say stand fast, you have to stand fast in those commandments by exercising those commandments, that divine governing system. Like me, a lot of people don't understand that how I move, I am free because I'm free from the religious ideology and the political views of man. You understand me? See, so what happened is that I become an enemy to the world, and the world becomes an enemy to me, because now philosophically and ideology we going against each other. You understand me? Like earlier today, man, one of the workers, he was telling me about Miami, and it snowed in Miami in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. I'm like, no, it didn't, because I'm born and raised in Miami. You understand me? So I went and looked it up and said, yeah, it snowed around about in the 70s or 48 years ago or something like that, but it never snowed really in Miami, not in Homestead. The Homestead is near to the Keys, and it's too warm because of the equator right there. You understand me? It can get to like the 60s, it can get to like the 50s, and you can have the freeze warnings in the northern Floridas and the panhandle of Florida. You understand me? But see, the point is that a lot of doctrines that they come up and we discuss, I go against those doctrines because I understand and I know the truth. See, so therefore we are enemies, and that's politics. See, that's what y'all don't understand. It's political game because it's all politically related. Do you understand me? Let's read that again. Let's go back to Galatians. Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Meaning that you have to exercise capitalism. Because capitalism, Yahweh God is a capitalist, and America is a capitalist country. A lot of people come to America, do you understand me, to live a good life in America. Do you understand me? And a lot of you all like understanding that's here in America. And what happened is that y'all reject capitalism and y'all embrace socialism, communism, bureaucracy, not understanding that these are the governing system of man. There's a economic enslavement. And basically that's what he's talking about, Galatians 5, meaning being you are you're no longer enslaved or entangled or captive to the philosophical governing system of man. You understand me? Because Yahweh God is a capitalist, and there's freedom in the capitalism. That's why a lot of politicians and a lot of politicians and a lot of countries don't like America. You understand me? Why do you think they want to come and attack in America? They want to attack America because America is a capitalist country, because there's freedom in the capitalism. See, understand, democracy promotes independence and free will. Democracy is a philosophical view. That's it. It's a view that stands from Demetrius Democritus. Demetrius Democritus is a Greek philosopher. That's where we get the word democratic from him, Demetrius. You understand me? Y'all don't understand there's freedom in the capitalism. Now, when it says being free in Christ, that don't mean you can live a lifestyle and do what you want to do, because The scriptures say, believe and have faith. Y'all lack that understanding. So through that lack of understanding, y'all become enemies to Yahweh God. Not understand that Yahweh God is a capitalist. America is a capitalist country, and its financial institution is a capitalism. Politically, it's called democracy. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. In fact, let me get Psalms 128. Let me have Psalms 128 and 2, but I'm gonna start at 1, and let me get to Ecclesiasticus 5, and I'm gonna start at 18. Psalms 128, verse 2, but I'm gonna start at 1. Verse 1. Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in his ways. For thou shalt eat the labor of thy hands. Listen. For thou shalt eat the labor of thy hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife shall be as fruitful vine by the sides of thy house, thy children like olive plants round about the table. Behold, that thrust shall the man be blessed that feareth Yahweh God. Meaning when you fear the Lord, you'll be blessed. You understand me? And the commandments is the economic institution. You understand me? Because see, when you go back to the curses in Deuteronomy 28, these are economic curses. You understand me? See, that's why when you go back to Camilla Harris and Biden, when they were talking about the Black America here in today's time, what happened in these liberal cities? What happened? The black people are poor because they need that equal opportunity. See, understand, DEI is another tool that weaponized against the American people, that goes against the so-called African American. Because see, understand, these politicians know that we are the children of Israel. You understand me? They already know this political game. They already know their time is up. You understand me? But y'all like understand. But they understand it. That's why these politicians, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, they all pushing these agendas. Do you understand me? It is what it is. See, so understand that Yahweh God is a capitalist, and once you fear him and obey him, and then you exercise the commandments, that commandments, financial institution, or that divine governance system is capitalism. Same thing here in America. Donald Trump, the Republican Party, they represents capitalism. They represents democracy. It represents that divine governance system. You understand me? Socialism, communism, and bureaucracy are economic enslavement of man. You understand me? That's why I say y'all don't know the Bible, because it's all about governments and worshiping and obeying, and which government that you are worshiping and which government that you obeying. You understand me? Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 verse 18. Behold that which I have seen. It is good and comely for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which Yahweh giveth him, for it is his portion. Meaning that all the money that you make, you go out, you double that. That's called capitalism. Now you can enjoy yourself. You flip for $130 and you made $260, $270. Now you can go out and buy the things that you want. Now you can go out and eat at a nice restaurant. You can hang out and have a good time. You understand me? You can enjoy yourself. But yet a lot of y'all are caught up to the religious ideology. Y'all walk on eggshells. Y'all don't know which way to walk or how to exercise the commandments through the religious teachings. You understand me? Because those religious teachings held y'all captive. Because, see, understand, the church is a religious governance system of man. It's set up just like the government, the president, the pastor, the first lady, the deacon board, the deaconess. You got Congress and the Senate. You understand me? The congregation and private and other offices of the church, like the Secretary of State. You got the Secretary of the church. See, so understand, church is a religious governance system of man, and it's set up, and it takes your money religiously through religious practices. It takes your money through religious practices. It keeps you in idolatry. At the end of the day, a lot of y'all that outside of your faith, because y'all attach yourself to Christianity and its doctrines, Islam, Judaism, or all these religions, or whatever religion y'all profess. They are of man, and they not of Yahweh God. You understand me? See, so y'all like understanding, but yet understand there's freedom into capitalism, because the more money you make, and more money you flip, and you double that, and you double that, you can enjoy life. You understand me? Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 19. Every man also to whom Yahweh given riches and wealth, and have given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of Yahweh God, meaning that's a gift. Capitalism is a gift, because Yahweh God is the capitalist himself. You understand me? The commandments is the the commandments, the financial institution to the commandments are is capitalism. Those curses that we up under to this day are economic curses. You know, do you understand me? Let's get Deuteronomy. We're gonna get back into it. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, and I'm gonna start at 2. Deuteronomy 28 verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee, and shall overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Meaning that you in the city, or you at work, or you out and about having a good time, you're going to be blessed. There will be no chaos, no trouble, no worries. You understand me? Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of the body, the fruit of the ground, the fruit of the cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Now listen. The fruit of the cattle and the increase. Now that increase is called capitalism. Operation and mean for production and profit. Do you understand me? It is what it is. Okay, see, so you have to understand Yahweh God is a capitalist, and once you worship him and obey him, you get riches and wealth. That doesn't mean that you couldn't have $1 million in the bank, because y'all have to understand how you see money, how we view money and materialism, and Yahweh God is through these Greek and Roman philosophers. You understand me? See, so y'all have to understand what is a blessing. You can be blessed in the system of Esau, and you don't got to have 10 million in the bank, but you'll never be in the want, or you'll lack of nothing. You understand me? It doesn't matter how economically your situation that you are in financially, economic or financial situations, you're going to be blessed. You understand me? Because you working, you standing fast, you working, exercising the commandments of Yahweh God, which is that divine governing system, and the financial institution is capitalism. Do you understand me? Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy storehouse. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shall be when thou goest out. Meaning that you're going to be blessed when you leave the house and when you come in. Do you understand me? And to being blessed, and to go out and to enjoy life, and to work and to make money, that's called capitalism. That's called freedom. Now AOC, the Democrats, they don't like you to practice capitalism. Do you understand me? It is what it is. London Johnson, whatever, Brandon Johnson, whatever his name is, with Chicago, man, what's his name? That's trying to win New York City right now. That's socialist, communist. This man got money. This family get rich, but he finna enslave New York City with communism. But see, New York City don't understand the politics, because why? They in a capitalist country, exercising freedom, exercising capitalism, but y'all voting and y'all embracing and y'all endorsing socialism and communism, and that's nothing but economic enslavement of man. You understand me? See, so y'all don't understand freedom doesn't mean you can do what you want to do. Freedom they're talking about is talking about exercising that divine governing system, and the financial institution is called capitalism. Do you understand me? It is what it is. Well, I was holding Isaiah 10 and 27. Isaiah chapter 10 verse 27. And it shall come to pass in that day that his burden shall be taken away from off thy shoulder, and his yoke from off thy neck, and the yoke shall be destroyed because of the anointing, meaning that Yahweh Shai came and took away, and he broke those chains. He broke those yokes of bondage. He broke those what we call it today term political terminology, ideology, and philosophy. He broke that. Do you understand me? He came and broke that by coming and establishing a divine governance system, and the financial institution is capitalism. Do you understand me? Let me have 2 Corinthians. Let me get 10 and 3. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. And what he talking about is not the body. What he talking about is the physical, the philosophy. Shalaki, the physical nature of man, but the philosophy and ideology. We don't go against philosophy. You understand me? Because philosophy of the world is philosophy of the world, and it's never have no answer to it. There is no answer. There is no end to philosophy, but more philosophy. Do you understand me? For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, and that carnal means physical, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of stronghold. And pulling down strongholds is talking about democracy. A lot of y'all are stronghold to democracy, where through democracy y'all idol worship. Through democracy y'all reject Yahweh God, embrace the commandments of man. That makes a mockery out of your faith and mocks Yahweh God. But y'all don't understand it. Do you understand me? So what happened is that, go back to Mark 7:7. Y'all worship him with y'all lips, but when it comes time to exercise y'all belief system, y'all believe in the philosophical governance system of man. And so y'all get entangled in that, to where y'all have all these movements like these Me Too movement and T.F.Y, LBGT, the supporting of abortions and whatnot. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so Yahweh Shai came and took that away through the ministry. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalt itself against the knowledge. Listen, that exalt itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Meaning that bringing those philosophical thoughts into the obedience of Christ, meaning that bringing those thoughts into the divine governance system, or keeping them bringing it those thoughts and putting those thoughts in the divine nature, or thinking in the divine nature. You understand me? It is what it is. Let me have Luke. Let me get Luke 18 right quick. Shalaki. Let me have Luke 4 and 18. Luke chapter 4 verse 18. The Spirit, and this is what Yahweh Shai say. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. And that gospel to the poor talking about economically. See, so he brought capitalism. You understand me? Because you are poor, meaning that they was under the governance system of man, and its economic policies and regulations caused them to stay into poverty. Even to this day, the American people, the so-called African Americans, are in poverty throughout America. You understand me? Because these Democrats, they already know the play. But y'all vote against the Republican Party, not understanding that Republican Party represents the economic capitalism society. Y'all vote against it, and then y'all enslave your own self. Then what happened is that in the community, all the stores gone. Now you don't have nowhere to shop to. Now you mad and upset because Toys R Us done left your neighborhood, or Walmart left your neighborhood. But you voted for your neighbor. You voted for Walmart to leave. Now once they leave, now you don't. Now you want them to stay. So what you want them to stay? You want them to stay now. You have nowhere to go. See, y'all like understanding what y'all voted for. So y'all die outside of your faith. You understand me? Let's read that again. Luke chapter 4 verse 18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, and that's the justice system. You understand me? Because now the victims don't receive justice, but the criminals, they get justice. Like that Bottega guy, that Venezuelan dude, what happened? He hit his wife. You have these people that killing American people, but what happened? The Democrats going to praise them. You understand? Going to put them above the American people. You understand me? See, so they don't get no justice. You understand me? Yeah, they feel bad that this immigrant done killed this lady, but they don't give a fuck. You understand me? Because it's a political weaponization so that they can stand in power. You got to understand this political game. Let's read that again. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and to recover sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised. And a lot of you all are bruised. Why? Because a lot of you all believe in biblical scriptures, yet y'all have a misunderstanding through religious teachings. Yet therefore y'all are bruised, because y'all think that his name is Jesus, and Jesus don't exist. You understand me? That shit name is Jesus. You understand me? See, so Jesus is a pagan title. You understand me? And y'all captive to the pagan title. Y'all captive to the religious ideology. Why? Because the church teach y'all these religious teachings has come through the church, and these social issues. It's what life is based on through the church. You understand me? So y'all, through the church, y'all believe in the philosophical system of man. You understand me? And through and y'all embrace that, the commandments of man, and this ideology and philosophy through the religious teachings. So therefore y'all become enemies to Yahweh God. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so Yahweh Shai came and broke those chains. He broke those yokes of bondage, those philosophical views, those religious ideology, those political views, like the LBGT movement, Me Too movement, abortion. He broke all that. You understand me? Let me get Leviticus. Let's go into Leviticus 26 and 13. Leviticus 26 verse 13. I am the Lord your God Yahweh, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye should not be their bondmen. And I have broken the bands of your yoke and made you upright. Meaning that he delivered them out of the bondage. Because in Egypt it's bondage, right? And while they was in the physical Egypt, in that geographical location, you had a pharaoh with policies and regulations that was in place that kept them into poverty. Do you understand me? It's not just about what y'all see on TV. They working and they got a whip and they not getting paid. What happened is that you had taxes, you had policies, you had regulations in place. Same thing with America. And when you come to America, you had black code laws that was in place that restricted blacks. Do you understand me? From education, from working. You understand me? So that they can depend more on the government. You understand me? You have policies and regulations that enslave you. Do you understand me? That controls you. But y'all don't understand that. You understand me? And Yahweh Shai broke that through the scriptures. He came and established a divine governing system. You understand me? Let's read that again. Leviticus 26 verse 13. I am the Lord your God Yahweh, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye should not be their bondsmen. Because what happened is that once you get captured, you promote their religious ideology and philosophy. Especially back in those days when they were held captive, they pushed their religions. The people who they got captive to, they pushed their religion. Do you understand me? And Yahweh had broken that bands and broken that yoke when he redeemed the nation of Israel through the mighty arm of Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is that arm. You understand me? We're gonna hold that. Let's go back to let me get Psalm 77 and 15. Psalm 77 verse 15. Thou hast with thy arm redeemed thy people. the sons of Jacob and the sons of Joseph. See, so the sons of Jacob and the sons of Joseph, the 12 Jacob, Joseph, 12 tribes of Israel, Yahweh Shai redeemed them, brought them out of bondage of Egypt. You understand me? Because Egypt is bondage, and they was in bondage in Egypt. Labely, they were slaving, economic enslavement. Do you understand me? Let's read Leviticus again. Leviticus 26, verse 13. I am the Lord your God, Yahweh, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that you should not be their bondmen. I have broken the bands of your yoke and made you upright. Meaning that he broke those bands. He delivered us from that bondage. He delivered us from the economic governance system of man. You understand me? That keeps them into poverty. You understand me? hey, hey, it is what it is. See, so that's what y'all that's what y'all have to understand. Let me go into Galatians 3 and 13 right quick. Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law. See, so he redeemed us from that curse. That curse are economic curses. Do you understand me? Yahweh God is a capitalist himself. And once you went disobedient, you are in economic curses. You understand me? Meaning that you are under the curses. You are under the economic enslavement of man. You understand me? But understand, you're not free. When it means freedom, it's talking about exercising capitalism. When it says being free in Christ, because Yahweh Shai Christ is the commandments. He is a divine governing system. Do you understand me? It is what it is. See, that's what y'all have to learn. That's what y'all have to learn and understand. You understand me? At the end of the day, let's get let me go into Jeremiah. Let me get Jeremiah 2 and 20 right quick. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 20. For of old time have I broken thy yoke and bust thy bands. And thou sayest, I will not transgress, when upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest playing the harlot. And a lot of you all play the harlot. Because see, when y'all confess and say y'all believe, what happens is that y'all get baptized, and then when it comes to exercise that belief system, y'all exercise the commandments of man, and y'all reject the commandments of Yahweh God. You understand me? But not understanding, you rejecting the commandments of Yahweh God through your religious teachings. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me get right quick. Let me get John 5 and 8. Shalaki, John 5 and 39. John chapter 5 verse 39. Search the scriptures, but in them you think that ye have eternal life. And a lot of y'all think y'all have life, but you really don't, because y'all are enemies to Yahweh God. Not understanding. You understand me? Through religious teachings. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand that he have broken that. He broken those bonds. He broken that yoke. He delivered the children of Israel out of bondage, out of economic enslavement. Do you understand me? Let's get Matthew 4 and 17 right quick. Matthew chapter 4 verse 17, but I'm gonna start at 16. Verse 16. The people which sat in darkness saw great light, and to them which sat in that region the shadows of death light sprung up. And from that time Yahweh Shai began to preach and to say, repent. Now repent means to turn back. For the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And that kingdom is a divine governance system. Do you understand me? See, so that people that saw great light, because the commandment is a light. It's lamp. It comes directly from Yahweh God. And the commandments of man, the governance system of man, is darkness. Do you understand me? Let me have Daniel 8 and 23. Daniel chapter 8 verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, now transgressors are sinners, right? See, so these politicians that come into office, they don't believe in God. Their agenda going to transgress God's laws and make a mockery. Let's read that again. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, a king of fierce continuance and understanding, dark sentences shall stand up. And them dark sentences are policies and regulations. And how they going to come into play is that y'all going to vote and put them into power. Verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own. Meaning that's not going to be by his own power, because you all going to come together, y'all going to vote his ass in the office. And what happens is that they're going to turn around and enslave you. Not understanding that the whole goal is to enslave you, because they already know the so-called African Americans, we are the children of Israel. And the northern kingdom, the people that's in South America, that's jumping the border, the south border, or coming across the border illegally, they are the children of Israel. So the Democrats going to exploit them for cheap labor. You understand me? Hey, hey, y'all got to understand this political game and what it is about. You understand me? It is what it is. Let me go into let's go back to Galatians, and let me have 4. Let me get Galatians 4 and 8. Galatians chapter 4 verse 8. Howbeit then, when you knew not Yahweh, you did service unto them, which by nature are no gods. Meaning that before you came to have a belief system, you automatically obey and follow the physical nature of man, his ideology and philosophy, since you was a kid. That's why little kids grow up, they follow the philosophy, they follow the physical nature of man. Do you understand me? Here's what it is. Alright, verse 9. But now after that ye have known Yahweh, or rather are known of Yahweh, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements whereunto you desire to be in bondage? Meaning that why y'all continue to embrace these politicians' agenda, when these politicians' agenda are economic enslavement. They have power over you, they control you. Okay, you understand me? When the Biden-Harris administration, when they was in office, what happened? They told you to distance, they told you to put on masks, and they made you get vaccination or lose your job. You understand me? They were pushing bureaucracy. You understand me? Bureaucracy, communism, and socialism are economic enslavement. But socialism is the world economic enslavement. Socialism is the economic enslavement to what we know as Marxism. Because see, understand, Marxism is a political economic theory. Communism is a theory, economic theory. Do you understand me? See, so why would you want to continue to embrace these LBGT movement when this LBGT movement violates the commandment? They go against your belief system. Democracy goes against your belief system, but y'all embrace democracy. But y'all don't understand. Y'all think democracy means freedom. See, there's freedom into capitalism. There's no freedom into democracy, because it's a view. You understand me? See, so when they say the Republican is a threat to democracy, they talking about the ideology and philosophy. Because through the Democrats' philosophy and ideology of man, it's okay for a child to have sexual transplants. It's okay for a man to sleep with man and a woman to sleep with woman. It's okay for a boy to transition into a girl. It's okay for a man to identify as a woman and go into the girl's bathroom. It's okay for a man to play in women's sports and wear thongs and women's clothes. You understand? See, so the Bible and Yahweh God is a threat to the Democrats' agenda. And the Democrats' agenda is a threat to the scriptures. See, that's politics. Y'all in a spiritual war, and it's politically being played out, but y'all lack understanding. So therefore, through the lack of understanding, y'all die outside of y'all faith. It doesn't matter. Even your Jesus, who don't exist, said in Matthew 7:22, he don't even know you. Despite of you going to church, despite of you calling his name, despite of you being baptized in his name, he never knew you. Because y'all don't understand, because y'all twist the scriptures through religious teachings and not understanding what you worship. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. In fact, Let me go into the Apocrypha. Let me get second Ezra, and let me have chapter 2. And I'm gonna start at 1. Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, I brought these people out of bondage. I gave them my commandments by my servants the prophets, whom they would not hear, but despised my counsel. The mother that bare them saith unto them, Go your way, ye children, for I am a widow and forsaken. I have brought you up with gladness, but with sorrow and heaviness have I lost you. And those sorrow and heaviness are them social issues of life. That's why in Proverbs he tell you to guard your heart diligently, because out of it flows the issues of life. You understand me? Let me see if I can get that. Proverbs what? Proverbs 4 and 23. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. See, so out of it are the issues of life. So all the heaviness and sorrowness, they lost the commandments because they focus on the social issues and they embrace the social issues of man to get that problem solved instead of seeking the commandments. So what happened is that y'all reject the commandments and embrace the commandments of man. When you go back to 1 Samuel 8, you understand me? Y'all reject the commandments of man. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't understand economic enslavement. You understand me? So what happened is that Yahweh God delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt, out of bondage, out of economic enslavement. He redeemed us through the blood. Yeah, y'all continue to support ideology and political views that violates and make a mockery out of Yahweh God and his faith and your faith system. Shalaki, do you understand me? Not understanding that y'all are enemies to Yahweh God. You understand me? Let me get before I go on, let me get Isaiah 65. And let me start at let me get 11. Isaiah 65 verse 11. For ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forgot my holy mountain, that prepared the table for the troop, that furnished that drink offering unto that number. Meaning that y'all forgot about the commandments and y'all lined yourself up with the commandments of man by embracing these ideology, religious ideology, any political views that violates and make a mockery out of Yahweh God. So whether you embrace socialism, whether you embrace democracy, whether you embrace Scientology, or whether you embrace atheism or evolutionists, at the end of the day, all these views that goes against Yahweh God and Yahweh God against all these views of man. You understand me? Let's read that again. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forgot my holy mountain, that prepared the table for the troop, that furnished the drink offering unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spoke, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose, listen, and did choose wherein I delighted not. Meaning that y'all chose to embrace these movements, LBGT, BLM, and T.F.Y. Y'all become enemies to Yahweh God because y'all reject the commandments. You understand me? Let me give 1 Samuel. Let me give 1 Samuel 8. And then let me start at 4. 1 Samuel 8 verse 4. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Make us a king to judge us like nations. But this thing displeased Samuel when they say, Give us a king to judge. And Samuel prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people, in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. Meaning that they wanted to embrace the commandments of man instead of Yahweh God, because some of the men, Samuel's sons weren't walking in the way. So basically what happened is that They wanted to be like other nations. They wanted the governing system of other nations to be governed, to tell them what to do, not Yahweh God. And let me go down because let's go down to verse 12. And he will appoint captains over thousands and captains over 50, and will set them his ear to the ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. Meaning that racism, bigotry, discrimination are political terminology, are political weapons of war that they are used. Do you understand me? They use discrimination, they use bigotry. Do you understand me? Them are political weapons. You understand me? Let's go down to verse 15. And he will take 10th of your seed and your vineyards, and give them to his officers and to his servants. Verse 17. And he will take 10th of your sheep, and you shall be his servant. And ye shall cry out in that day, because your king which you have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refuse to obey the voice of Samuel, and they say, nah, but we will have a king over us, that we may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. Meaning that they didn't care about enslavement long enough that they were governed by other nations. You understand me? Because the other nations did what they wanted to do. You understand me? And when it comes to the children of Israel, you can't do what you want to do. You understand me? Because the things that they do are abomination. The things that they do goes against Yahweh God. But yet y'all embracing these other nations' ideology, y'all other nations' religious views, political views of man, and y'all become enemies to Yahweh God. You understand? Even though you profess and say that you believe in God, so y'all play the harlot. You understand me? And not understanding y'all playing the harlot. So what happens is that y'all reject the commandments and y'all die. Y'all reject the commandments. Y'all reject capitalism. And right now, y'all rejecting capitalism by embracing these Democrat socialists like AOC now. Do you understand me? Not understanding. You understand me? Let me get 1 Corinthians 7 and 21 right quick. 22. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 22. For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord freeman. Meaning that you are free from the physical ideology, religious ideology of man and its governing system. Yet you are not free when it comes to Christ. Yahweh Shai. You understand me? See, so y'all have to understand freedom doesn't mean you can do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you either going to obey the government or you're going to obey the commandments of Yahweh God. At the end of the day, it is what it is. In fact, let me go into Romans 6 and 20 right quick. Romans chapter 6, verse 20. For when you were the servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. See, so when you were servants for sin, and the sin is the physical nature. You understand me? See, so we automatically follow the physical nature. Go back to what we just read, Galatians 4 and 8. You did service unto them by nature, which are no gods. You understand me? Romans chapter 6, verse 20. For when ye were servants of sin, ye were free from righteousness. Now verse 22. But now being made free from sin, you become servants to Yahweh. See, you become servants to Yahweh. You understand me? And service is their obedience. Obedience is the act of worshiping. Either you're going to worship the government or you're going to worship the commandments of Yahweh God. There is no in between. Do you understand me? And a lot of you all think that there is an in between, and there is no in between. You understand me? Either you for or you against. Let's go up to 16, Romans 6. Romans chapter 6, verse 16. Know ye not that to whom you give yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom you obey, whether sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. And that sin unto death, they're talking about the physical nature of man, because the wages of sins is death. You understand me? Man's eyes became open, so death come through all men. Disobedience and death come through all men. Sin come through from Adam all the way down. You understand me? It is what it is. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 22. For he that is called in the Lord being a servant is the Lord's freeman. Likewise also he that is called being free is Christ's servant. Ye are bought with the price. Be ye not the servants of men. See, so you can't serve man because through the blood Yahweh Shai redeemed us economically, religiously, and politically. So therefore we're not servants to the governing system of man and its ideology and philosophy. You understand me? So go back to Galatians 5:1. We stand fast. I stand fast into Yahweh Shai because I work a divine governing system. You understand me? See, politically, I'm what you call a Republican or a conservative. You understand me? Understand politics is heavily involved because y'all don't understand the Bible is a political book. I do a lot of videos about this. You understand me? Y'all don't understand the Bible. That's why y'all die outside of y'all faith. It doesn't matter what you believe. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me have John 8 and 5 right quick. John. Wait, what else? John 8 and 32. Shalaki. John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth. That's because verse 31. Verse 31. Then said Yahweh Shai to the Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. See, so I'm free because I know the truth. I'm free from the religious ideology and the philosophy of man. That's why I stay in debates when it comes to philosophical views of life, when it comes to religion, when it comes to economically, and when it comes to political views. I go against man and man is against me. Why? Because we see differently. I look through the lens of the scriptures. I look through the divine governing system. You understand me? See, so I move on the divine system while I am in the philosophical system of man. Do you understand me? I try to stay more obedient, and I stay blessed in the system of Esau. It doesn't matter how much Esau agenda that he pushes, his policies and regulations that's in place. Through obedience, I'm put above all nations. Through obedience, I'm going to gain that increase. You understand me? And Yahweh God going to have the system to give it to me. You understand me? They ain't going to have no choice. You understand? Because the system going to know that I am the elect of Israel. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so I know the truth, so I move into that truth. Like a lot of people be like, you listen to this, you do this, you do that. Yeah, that's not a sin. Yeah, he ain't say that. And a lot of y'all with the God said this, God said that. You can't do this and you can't do that. See, y'all captive to those religious ideology and philosophy of man. See, so I'm free. You understand me? So I'm free from the philosophical views, especially with these religious views that come out of the church. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me get First Peter. Let me have First Peter 1. Let me have First Peter. First Peter. Shalaki. First Peter 2. Let me have First Peter 2, and let me read John 8 again. John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. And that truth is going to make you free. That truth is going to make you stand fast into the commandments. That truth is going to make you exercise the commandments of Yahweh God. Exercise that divine system. Exercise capitalism. Do you understand me now? Now another part of that is come to learning how to budget your money. You understand me? It is what it is. All right. First Peter chapter 2, verse 15. For so is the will of Yahweh that with well doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. And I put a lot of foolish men in ignorance by my movements and by the doctrines, because I come with these commandments. I come with that truth. You understand me? I don't talk in the philosophy. When you go through all my videos, you don't hear philosophical views. You hear straight scriptures. Do you understand me? You hear straight breakdowns. You understand me? You don't hear no religious teachers. You understand me? I grew up into theology. I grew up into the church. You understand me? For years. So I know the doctrines come out of the church. I know Christianity is a mockery. You understand me? It makes a mockery out of Yahweh God. But y'all don't understand it. Let's read that again. 1 Peter 2 verse 15. For so is the will of Yahweh that with well-doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men, as free and not using your liberty for the cloak of maliciousness, but as a servant of Yahweh. Meaning that I use my freedom as a servant because I move and I do this and I do that, and then when people question me, I bring them the scripture so that they can get an understanding of how I move and how I operate. See, I operate and move on the divine system, even though I'm in the philosophical system of man. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. You understand? Let me get 2 Timothy 2 and 16. I think 2 Timothy 2 and verse 26. Oh, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 26. Shalaki, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 26. And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will. Meaning that at any given moment I can embrace the commandments of man and I can be captive by the devil. Now when he's talking about the devil, he's not talking about Satan. You understand me? Talking about the physical nature of man, because the physical nature of man is cunning and baffling. Do you understand me? The simple nature of man is trickery. You understand me? Ideology and its imaginations. And in fact, let's get Genesis 3 and let me get 1. Genesis chapter 3 verse 1. Now the serpent was more susceptible than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh made. You understand me? Because man and animal was created on the 6th day. You understand me? So the nature of man is just as wicked and just as trickery. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so I use that freedom to promote capitalism, to push these scriptures, to push that kingdom, to expose the truth. You understand me? To a lot of people, and a lot of people go against me and I go against them because they into the views of man. You understand me? I'm into these scriptures. You understand me? They believe in God, but I tell them those are titles because God has a name. And what is his name? The Bible makes a distinction when they use pagan titles. God of Israel. See, so it comes to a pertain. Even though I use pagan titles, yet it pertains to a single nation. The God of Israel. You don't say God, it say the God of Israel. You understand me? See, so y'all have to understand how this thing works. You understand me? Because you could be taken at any given will. You understand me? Listen to what Yahweh Shai say. Let me get John. Let me get John 7. Let me get John 7 and 7. John chapter 7 verse 7. The world cannot hate you, but it hated me because I testify of it, that the works therefore are evil. Meaning that the works, the ideology, philosophical views, this cultural practice is an enemy against Yahweh God, and Yahweh God is against the cultural practice of this world. Do you understand me? Because the world hates the commandments. The world hates Yahweh God. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me get Colossians. That's why I say y'all need to learn and understand what y'all worshiping, because see, a lot of y'all die and don't even understand. Okay, what you worshiping. Y'all die in idolization. Colossians chapter 2 verse 8. Be aware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of this world, and not after Christ. Because the world teaches you to go against Christ. It's doctrines, philosophy, and ideology. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get back to Galatians 5 and 1. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1. Stand fast therefore in the liberty whereby Christ hath made us free. See, so we are free to practice capitalism, to exercise that divine governance system. And be not again entangled again with the yoke of bondage, and don't be entangled again with the commandments of man as religious ideology and philosophical view, because Yahweh Shai delivered us out of Egypt. Do you understand me? Let's go to Exodus 4 and 22. Exodus chapter 4 verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And what he talking about Israel, talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. And he talking about the sons of the elect of Israel. Even though the children of Israel was in Egypt and they were delivered out of Egypt through the cataclysmic events, and Yahweh God through the arm of Yahweh Shai led them out of Egypt, yet understand history repeats itself. So when he told Abraham about 400 years, he's talking about now here in America. See, it's not been 400 years yet in America. It's been like going on 300 years since we've been enslaved in America. Because see, understand, these are future prophecies. History repeats itself. You understand me? Let's read that again. Exodus chapter 4 verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And he served me, that divine governing system. Do you understand me? That he could serve a divine governing system and turn back from a philosophical governing system. You understand me? And it's religious, political ideology, and philosophy. Do you understand me? See, so y'all have to learn and understand what you're worshiping and understand what this political game is about, because it's all biblically related. Learn what y'all worshiping.